What's up, tit fuckers? As always, this is Patrick coming back just to give your balls a tug. We have a squat day today. We are on day 2 of week 3 of our Ghost Clash prep, where we are preparing for our very first sleeved squat meet at the Ghost Clash in Miami, Florida, later next year in April of 2024. Today's squat day. We have just transitioned out of the gulag of what I used to call asphyxiation training, where we're leaning into the hypoxic feel, the hypoxic response of training, and we are basically what's going on is you want to deplete your muscles of oxygen and basically see how they function. It's the autoerotic asphyxiation of training, basically, because the hypoxic response is really important when it comes to competing, because the only way that you can train your CNS outside of lifting heavy all the time, which it has a high risk, high reward kind of aspect to it, you can train your CNS a little better using methods such as learning how to properly breathe, not according to how your body naturally wants to breathe, but rather how you can utilize breathing for methods of increasing your control over your heart rate, because you basically have a video game controller and saying up, up, down, down, left, right, down, A, B, start. Just kidding. We're slowing your heart rate down because your body doesn't have eyes. It doesn't have ears. So you got to train up your central nervous system. You got to train up your body in order to have a better control on your heart rate, kind of like ninjas. You got all this Far East. Everyone's a samurai in the gym. Everyone is a Viking. Everyone's a lion, tiger. There's a whole fucking zoo in the gym. But no one's ever been like, yeah, but like, who are the most efficient assassins to ever grace the planet Earth? And what did they do to kill who they needed to kill? Because I want to kill some weights, you know? Ninjas used to use breathing techniques to slow their hearts down so that they couldn't be detected. You got to lean into that. So we've got assault bike 3,200 meters, which is basically just 10 minutes of biking. The assault bike, the non-consent bike that we've got at Free State Barbell in Manchester, New Hampshire, for those bears who are waiting for me to take my shirt off. Does not have a distance thing, so I approximated how far based on my experiences at Planet Fitness as to how long I should go for 3,200 meters. And then we've got basically stutter training, where we've got 10-second full-out sprint, and then I think it's 30 seconds of cool down biking, and then 45 seconds off. And then we do that for, I believe it's eight rounds of that. Then we are going into 3/4 squats. So basically, previously, what the past 2 weeks of training have been 1.5 squats, where you squat down, you come halfway up, you go back down, and then you come all the way up. That's 1. Sets of 8, that's basically squatting 16 times. But we are doing 3/4 squats, which means we're going to absolutely not hate ourselves anymore. Just kidding, it's still going to suck, because we are not allowed to lock out, which means we do not get a chance to recover our breath. We need to be able to breathe in a manner where we don't lock it out. So we have to get all 8 reps in a single breath, basically. And that is leaning into the hypoxic response. We've already increased our heart rate with the sprints. We're increasing our ability to respond to the hypoxic response with that. And then we've got some leg curls with goblet squats supersetted, because bodybuilding stuff. And my weak point on squats is getting onto my toes. What's the best way to get off of your toes? Do shit that makes you get onto your toes, and that would be front squats or goblet squats. But front squats are annoying. Goblet squats, I don't know which one I would rather do. They both suck. I hate them both, which is why my coach programmed them. Which is why you should have a coach yourself, because you're not going to program shit that you don't like doing because you don't like doing it, so you're already biased against your goals. You're going to do the stuff you like doing, which is fine. You're going to have fun, but you're not going to make as much progress. So after that, we've got our usual leg day supersets, probably a back superset. Usually when I do those, my eyes just glaze over and I say, okay, we've got this programmed. My brain is already turned off because all the blood is literally everywhere else and I cannot think. So we are going into this squat day with a positive mentality. You heard that right, boys. We're going to be positive about doing stuff that's going to make us feel like we're drowning, because that's what training the hypoxic response, doing nasal breathing, which limits your capacity for breathing in and breathing out, which is the remote control to your heart rate. So we're doing that shit, and we're not going to complain about it a single time. Not a single time. Hold me to that. Write in the comments how many times I complained, and spoiler alert, it's going to be 0 because we're not complaining about it. It's going to fucking suck. $95 carbs through bagels. This counts as a bagel. Close enough. Yeah, buddy. My squat sucks because I get onto my toes, which turns the squat into the good morning. And so Papa Joe decided that he was going to be a sadist and get things to a point, program this little monstrosity of a thing. We've got bands, we've got safety squat bar, we're barefoot, and we're doing 3/4 squats, which means we start to come up, we don't lock it out, we go back down. Sets of 8, 3 sets of 8 with, I believe, 2 minutes rest period. I'll have to check that afterwards. But what this does is when you start to come up and you have an issue getting onto your toes or your upper body folding forwards, this will not allow you to correct it once you lock out. So when you lock out, you're able to correct this and then go back into it, reinforce a bad muscle memory. So this doesn't allow you to do that correction because you don't get to lock out. You go all the way up and then you don't lock out and you go back down. You don't have that time to lock your knees, come back up. You have to be in a good squat position the entire time. So got a set of 8. I don't know how to properly use the safety squat bar because I rarely ever use it, because it also has the tendency to push you forwards to like have your upper body cave because you're not tied into the bar. And then we've got the bands to kind of reinforce it, because you can use momentum when there's no bands on it to kind of like pull yourself and actually squat a little better than if you don't have, or you have the bands on there. So pretty much it makes sure that if something fucks up, it stays fucked up. So we learn to not fuck up so that we don't fuck up when the fuck ups really matter. So don't fuck up. We're also walking it out, and my foot placement always sucks when I walk it out. So I do a little bit of a tippy tap to try and find a happy point where my feet go, and I never find it. So it did tip forward a little bit, and I was able to pull it back because I popped the weight up off my back a little bit. Don't do that. Try to not fuck up. But 47:10, 2 minutes rest, 49:10, 2 minutes rest. And I'm going to try and be nasally breathing in between my sets. So you guys get the fuck out of here. I'll see you back with the next movement. Now this is a superset. I'd rather masturbate with sandpaper than do. We've got 2 count hold leg curl for 15 reps and directly into 20 reps of the goblet squats. Doing the goblet squats to practice. Goblet squats to practice not getting on my toes, because it's basically like a front squat, except you're choking yourself a little differently.
I have that problem. Good morning.
I get stuck in this. Come on. There we go. Dick too big. Last time I had goblet squats programmed, I puked every single week. It was like, I got a big chest. And the dumbbell just falls. It ends up being like a good morning. I don't know if I'm holding this right. Don't judge me. Powerlifting gym. Can't do that anywhere else. Oh. Got 2 minutes rest. 1850, 2050. But fatigue, the stabilizers, and then we put them to work. It's funky voodoo bullshit. I hate it. But goddamn, doesn't it work? All right, so now we've kicked off the squat shoes. We wore the squat shoes at the American Pro. We squatted in the squat shoes. And you know what happens at when extremely strong females lift really heavy, they tend to pee on the platform. It happens regardless of how many kegels they do. They can rip your dick off with how many kegels they do, and they're still going to have some sort of leakage on the platform. So they're not peeing on the platform. It's just their celebration for being stronger than you. So sit the fuck down before you start talking about how gross it is. Because I squatted. There was a puddle on the platform. My feet were straight in the puddle. And boy, do I tell you, those are now my most prized possession. Because you know what? I got some Hunter Henderson pee-pee on my shoes. You into muscle mommies as much as I am? Because fuck yeah, that's awesome. Anyways, back on topic. Put our dicks away for a minute. We have another leg curl superset, except I don't want to actually kill myself doing this one. Well, you do want to kill yourself doing this one, but like not like pew. Like you want to feel the burn, but you don't want to you don't want to actually. Why are there so many metaphors and similes about killing yourself in the gym? Because like the gym is our salvation, but you want to kill yourself on this, right? Now, what's programmed is leg curl, sets of 10. But I maxed this machine out, so we're going to do single leg curl to isolate the legs a little bit more, which means the weight stack can get twice as heavy per leg because we're only using one leg and we're not distributing the weight between two legs. So we drop the weight down a little bit. We're going to do single leg, and then we're going to do dumbbell RDL 1.5 reps for sets of 10, right? So 1.5 reps means you go all the way down, come halfway up, go all the way down, back up. That's 1 rep, 1.5 reps. So doing 8 1.5 reps, you're getting to the bottom 16 times. So put your dicks away because I got my shoes on. You ain't getting some free foot finder shit from me today. Little toe suckers. Can you actually make a lot of money on Foot Finder? Because I'm not monetized on here. Get in the fucking hole. Goodness. There we go. 10 reps, no pauses. We had pauses in the last leg curl. Now, you can see my PTSD from coach yelling at me that even though there's no tempo programmed, I'm still doing a bit of what's called an 013 or 310 tempo going on, where I go down as fast as I can, right? I gotta get my knee out of the way. Otherwise, I'll get clipped by the screw there. I hold it, or I don't hold it that long. I stop the weight and then I control it up. But it's supposed to be 0 count, 1 count, 3 count. But I'm just controlling it because numbers are fucking hard. I can probably increase the weight on that next time. Now on to the dumbbell 1.5 RDLs. I got the Crocs on, but like Crocs are squishy enough that like you can keep them on for this shit because they don't have a heel and like not exploding off the floor, so it doesn't really matter, and they're comfy as fuck. There's 10. So like one of the most important things to feel on that is your lat contraction. Let me peek at the 46 or 48, 47 flat, 90 seconds rest, which means 48:30 I go again. But you want to feel tightness in the lats because you want to keep everything nice and rigid. You don't want to be rounding at the top, the upper side of your back. You want to be nice and tight and keep that tightness through the movement. You want to keep your core tight while you're doing that so you don't have lower back roundness. We're gonna lightweight so we can keep the tightness throughout the movement. Like you get upper back rounding at a certain point in regular deadlifts, but if you keep your tightness on something light like this, that we're just working in through reps, we're keeping good cues going. It's an accessory movement. So if you keep the lats tight and the core tight, it's going to target the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit better. You're going to be getting that thick, juicy pump. You're going to be getting all the date requests for homecoming. If you a bitch out there, sorry. If you're a fine young lady out there, women are people, not objects. Remember that. Unless they take all your money. All right, so we're on the last superset of the day. We've got single arm seated lat pull down, where, so when you're doing this one, it's basically like a regular lat pull down, but you're isolating one side at a time so that you can correct imbalances. Since I've been powerlifting for a long time at this point, I don't want to admit how old I am. I'm 27. Fuck, I'm old. I have not once switched my grip on deadlifts, so I'm basically as dangly as Quasimodo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's doing pretty good this year in college football, so we'll say it's a humpback. You fucking know what I mean. Words are hard. And then we're stepping right into the seated cable row. Now, one of my favorite accessories is an isolateral machine row, because you can just load that motherfucker up, do single arm, you can do double arm, you got multiple different grips, you can even use that shit, band that shit up the wazoo. But we don't have one of those here. So all we got is this cable bullshit. Which, I mean, if you don't have access to a lot of things, you can sub out the... Ooh, I'm attractive. You can sub out a bunch of your accessories. Like if you need specific machines, you can kind of like MacGyver your shit onto a cable machine. But so the main thing that you want to focus on with this superset, if you do this superset, if you are a masochist like me, you want to focus on scapular retraction. So basically, you want to pack your lat into your back pocket. So when you're pulling down, you're pulling it into your back pocket. You want to apply the 013 tempo that I was talking about with the leg curls earlier, where you explode down, you control it for a moment, and then you slowly and control it all the way back up, and you keep doing more reps like that. You're doing it single arm, and you're kind of you're packing your lats into your back pocket when you're doing a lat pull down. But when you're going into the kind of like a neutral area cable row, you want to basically pinch your scaps and basically give yourself a shark fin by packing your lats so tightly into the middle of your back that you look like a fucking street shark. That show was fantastic back in my childhood. I believe it was a 90s cartoon. I was a 90s child, but I don't want to steal greatness from the 80s if it did originate. But it's got that 90s cartoon vibe. Like, you know, the original X-Men animated series vibe. Street Sharks had the same vibe. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But we got sets of 8 superset with sets of 20 of the seated cable shit thing. Shut the fuck up. I'm training. This lat pull down machine is shit because you actually want to get a stretch at the top, but the range of motion on this, like I'm maxed out the range of motion, so I'm not getting that stretch. So I'm missing out on gains because this piece of equipment is dog shit. And if my lav mic was up there, you would hear the little cable fraying under the sheer girth of my amazingness. Just kidding. I'm average at most. and 30. So I'm probably going to grab some straps or grip hooks for that bad boy, because what was really burning for me in that was my forearms. Now, I'm no scientist. I just have a bachelor's in math. So I don't know exactly how anatomy works, but I know this is smaller than all of this. So if you're limiting the strength of all of this based on your strength of this, you're going to have a bad time, and all of this is going to suffer. And it's only going to get as strong as this little guy is going to let you to be. Now, that being said, you will want to do specific grip work outside of doing back work if you're using straps or hooks or whatever to hold on to the implements a little bit better, because a lot of people get the majority of their grip work by doing back work. But notice what I said, it's back work, not grip work. So you're going to focus on the back, use the fucking straps. Don't be a hard ass. You got to also work your grip too. Do grip work for grip, back work for back. Don't combine the two. Otherwise, neither will be good. Because back work doesn't work grip very well either. Let's take a cute little page out of Sam Sulek's book of tricks, which I 100% did not absolutely just go through minute by minute in one of his videos to figure out how to like actually attract people to videos and make something that's worth watching. But let's take a page out of his bag of tricks, take our shirt off just so that women will want to actually watch this video. But I know my audience. Women don't like this. The bears do, though. And I appreciate you. But, I mean, I got a little bit of a trap pump. It was a leg day, but, like, I don't really feel a leg pump. But what really is going on is the lat pump right now. Like, I don't know how to properly pose. I hope this gets something going for you. But I feel a nice lat pump going on. I don't have a mirror that I can see, so I don't actually know what the pump looks like. So I'll probably watch this for the first time with you guys when I finally do edit this in all of 15 minutes and put this video together for you boys. And I know my audience, it's just boys. But we are done training. We have, let me pull the Fitbit out. We have 8,623 steps for today so far, which means we got to have a little bit of a hot date with the treadmill until we hit that 10K mark. But first, I got to go pee. Y'all, I already told you I'm not taking my pants off for you guys to watch. Y'all can't watch me pee-pee either. That's YouTube probably wouldn't like that. And also, I don't want to get you guys too hard. Like, I want to get you guys like al dente, like not soft, but a little hard. And by hard, I mean fucking jacked. Like, look at that trap. That's the only thing I got going for me. If you got a trap, at least a trap, and like a decent total, you know there may or may not be honeys in your DMs being like, hey, yo, I heard you squat 800. That happened to me once. And that was the girl who got away. She was playing hard to get. So I went with another chick. I should not have done that. But she was a pothead, and I don't do the marijuanas. I don't do that. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm pretty much not fun at parties either, because like I'm sober and all my thoughts, are going to be sober. So I'm only as unhinged as I am all the time. So there's like no point of me going to a party if there's always a party around me, All right. So while I'm getting my last little bit of steps going, probably like 10 minutes worth of cardio to bust this one out, finish it off this day. And then I got to go back home. I got to have my final meal of the day. And you can see the clock behind me. My bedtime's about 8 p.m. But I was on a podcast earlier today from 6 to 7, so I got to the gym at around 8. So, I mean, 2.5 hours, not too bad. Not too bad. And there was someone in here in the gym while I was doing some stuff, and people like talking to me for some reason. So that chit-chatting brought the time a little bit. But 2.5 hours, that's pretty good. I'm usually here for like 4. But all in all, the day was not as bad as I thought it would be. The the 3/4 or 75 or the 3/4 squats for sets of 8. Not that bad. So my goal for today was to nasal breathe as much as possible in between everything. And I'm learning to tap into the I forgot the word. Basically, the system that activates when you're depleted of oxygen, but also working that video game controller to control the heart rate, keep the heart rate down, because when you're nasally breathing, you've only got the ability. So take a step back. When you breathe, you've got 2 sympathetic nervous systems that can go on. You've got the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. I don't know the difference between the two, but I know one of them increases your heart rate when you breathe in. When you take deep breaths, that increases your heart rate. When you exhale, I'm so fucking attractive. When you exhale, your heart rate slows down. So you can abuse that by controlling your breathing. When you lift heavy weights, your body goes into the fight or flight. And it's like, all right, you're lifting heavy weights. There might not be something heavy on my back right now. You're exerting energy. I have to be ready for you at any given moment. So I'm going to be ready all the time when you're doing lifting and all this stuff. So I'm going to have your heart rate increase. I'm going to have you taking deep oral breaths. That's how your body reacts to stimuli. But your body doesn't have eyes, ears. It just reacts to how much of the caloric or energy, ATP, going on in your system. How much of that is getting utilized? How much does it have left? And how does it prepare itself to get more use out of all that stuff? So now, I personally have eyes and ears. Not everyone does. And that's not making fun of handicapped people here. I saw this chick on Instagram with no legs, but that booty though. Anyways, where was my train of thought? Oh, your the systems, your adrenaline systems, all of that, the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems, your CNS doesn't have eyes and ears. So when you do a set of 8 on squats, you're going to be breathing heavy. But you don't need to be breathing heavy when you're not squatting. So you need to control your heart rate because it's not that hard. You're not expressing yourself to failure. Your body's getting ready for yourself to go to failure. You keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing. The nervous system keeps pushing back, prepping more. Synapses fire, nervous systems get activated. You end up puking. You end up overheating. Your body temperature goes up. If you're able to video game control yourself, almost like a NES, with your ability to breathe and your ability to breathe to affect your heart rate, you're going to be able to tap into, all right, let's conserve energy. Let's conserve energy here. We're wasting energy here. We're wasting energy here. I want to use this energy that I've saved up to get more gains. I want it to express the CNS when I need it to be expressed, which is on the platform. So the easiest way that you can do that is to breathe nasally. You're going to feel like you're drowning the entire time when you're getting used to it. So, sorry, I'm doing cardio. I'm fat, I'm talking, I'm not taking a lot of breaths, so I'm out of breath. Not that my cardio is bad, but it's bad. But so the Far East, like the China, the ancient Buddhist temples, the fucking ninjas. Like, why doesn't anyone ever be like, hey, what the ninjas used to do? You know, I probably already had the spiel earlier, but it still pisses me off because ninjas are fucking cool. Why is everyone a fucking samurai, like a Viking? I'm a lion. Rawr! Like, why? When we can all just be ninjas, you know? Control our heart rates, go in for the kill. So we control our heart rate so that it's beating fast when we want it to beat fast. When we need it to beat fast is when we're under a barbell, when we're doing our reps, when we're doing our top singles, when we're on the platform. So we need to train ourselves to understand the body responses to what's going on. So my goal today was to nasally breathe as long as I'm not talking to you motherfuckers. Just kidding, you're not motherfuckers. You don't fuck mothers. You're like, virgin fuck. Nah, you're not cool enough to be motherfuckers. Samuel L. Jackson determines who's a motherfucker and who's not. Y'all are tit fuckers. And I'm here to give your balls a tug. So, when I'm not talking to you guys, I was nasally breathing. When I wasn't talking to the homie, I was nasally breathing. I felt like I was drowning the whole time. But you can tell by the clock, I got through my training much faster. I was able to stick to my rest times much better because I was recovering quicker. I felt cold when I was in between sets because I was recovering so fast. That means I'm in control of my heart rate, my central nervous system. I'm recovering at a speed that I need to. The prime moment when I need to be expressing strength, endurance, energy. I had that basically on lockdown today because I was nasally breathing. You want to do a little more? If your system is out of whack, look up some Far East meditation practices. They all focus on getting centered. And what they mean by getting centered is it slows their heart rate down. They've got breathing techniques that specifically slow your heart rate down. So Papa Patrick's sending you some homework. Find some cool breathing techniques. Do that research for me. Write it in the comments so that I can steal your ideas and express it as an original idea because I'm so handsome and amazing and totally not a piece of shit. But we succeeded. Now, my coach, Joe, at the American Pro, I was not doing this as well as I should have been, right? I didn't understand why I was doing it. So I was like, I'm not bought in. I'm not doing this shit as well as it's like playing just the tip. But like, if you do just the tip, you're still a virgin, right? I wasn't fully bought in. I overheated. I puked after squats. He was like, at my last meet when I set an all-time world record, said coach, in between attempts, I turned to my coach, said my coach, and I was cold. I was like, that's weird. Why would you be cold? And now that I'm practicing, abusing my sympathetic and parasympathetic, that just makes me sound like a douche when I say that. I am so sorry that I put you guys through that. When I'm abusing my breathing rate to affect my heart rate in a manner that I would like it to express itself, which still makes me feel like I'm sounding like a douchebag, I felt what he was feeling. When we ramp up into harder shit, when we ramp up into shit that makes your eyes want to bleed, when we ramp up to shit where our body's gonna freak out and be like, what's up, buckaroo? We are puking everything you've eaten today. Good fucking luck. We're gonna be prepared for that. The harder we go, the more prepared we're gonna be to that moment where we need to tap into this new skill point. And it's not just in the gym that it's effective. In life, you're gonna have things that are gonna affect your heart rate. You're gonna be put into stressful situations. You're gonna go to work. You're gonna be in a meeting. How much of an advantage are you gonna have when everyone else in the room is shitting themselves? This is a really fucking big meeting. And when you are that stressed, that nervous, oh God, I'm so attractive. When you're at that point, you make mistakes, right? You start getting shaky. The people who are trying to buy into you, your company, your people, they're going to see you're nervous. They're going to be less confident in you. You walk in there, you're a fucking badass who can control their fucking heart rate at the snap of a button. Buttons don't snap, but you know what I mean. You're going to be the expression of confidence. They're going to be like, you know what? That guy is an absolute idiot, but he is an idiot confidently. I'm going to buy into you. That's powerlifting. We're all idiots that people are just buying into. That's the secret. We do the dumb, funky voodoo bullshit, and it fucking works. Now, I only just started getting good at this. I've been doing this for over a year. You got to be patient. I just hit my step goal for the day. So I got to be out of here to eat my Fruity Pebbles. So don't expect results from anything that I did today immediately. If you expect immediate results, fuck you. Like, what kind of thing gives you immediate results? Eating food. Hey, I'm going to eat this. It's tasty. That's an immediate result. Anything worth doing, making money, putting money in the stock market, that takes a long time. Building a total doesn't happen overnight. Having good nutrition doesn't feel good on day one. Well, it might feel good on day one, but like day 5, you're going to be thinking about Taco Bell, Chipotle. I could go for some Chipotle. Ooh, I've got a D-Flux meal, dopamine flux, which is basically modern day version of saying cheat meal. But people get offended when you say the word cheat meal because cheating is bad. Oh no. But I've got a D-Flux meal. I think they were called refeed meals at one point. How old am I that I've been in this sport for so long that I've gone through 3 different definitions for the same word? Like, gays meant the same thing for the past like 15 years. But cheat meal, refeed meal, D-Flux meal, the fuck? I got one of those on Saturday. I usually think I go for like something that I wouldn't usually get, like nice Italian food or Domino's because it's late and it took too long for me to decide what I wanted to eat. You know, if I have time, I might get some Chipotle. It's like, ooh, because like at the American Pro, after I weighed in, I had Chipotle, but like my stomach shrunk a little bit, so I couldn't actually enjoy it. I got Chipotle, a large root beer, because root beer doesn't have caffeine, and caffeine kills your gains. That's some other funky voodoo bullshit that I personally believe in, that Joe didn't teach me, but like, he probably believes it too. Neither of us drink alcohol either, except for when he drinks alcohol. It'd be like only in Mexico, but like throughout the year, no alcohol. My phone's at 5%, so I'm going to shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. There was a train of thought there. Don't believe that there was ever an end to it, because knowing me, there wasn't. The train wasn't even on any tracks. So I'm signing off. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat a measured amount of Fruity Pebbles. It is a measured amount. I weigh it. I weigh my milk, and I nut because it's delicious. It's the only thing that I enjoy eating all day. Actually, my meals have been pretty good. I'm going to stop talking so that this clip doesn't get deleted because my phone dies. So, fuck you guys. Just kidding. I love you. Please come back. Please subscribe. I need the gratification of you guys. I need you guys to tell me that I'm pretty, and everything I say is smart, because I'm a sensitive boy. Patty out. Fuck! Snowing. This is bullshit.